Okay, so we have ourselves a update on the sorghum. It has fallen over a bit because we had a bit of a storm, and I'm going to be 100% of course honest with you in this video on how it's doing. I'm going to take you over here. I just want to really give you my evaluation of this. I'm not attached to the outcome. I just want to show you that this actually works, and I'm really, I mean, look at that one here. That's got to be 4 meters or more. That's some of them are like just incredible. Some of them are too thin, and to be honest now, I did not thin them out enough. But this one is still thick, and this one is still going to be a good one. It's got about 30% of them are at least 3 to 4 meters tall, with the seeds actually developed. Nothing's turned color yet to actual, normally they're kind of like a reddish color. I don't know if the camera will pick up all the seed heads anyway. Then we have about 40 to 60% which are about 2 meters to 3 meters tall, and then the rest is below that. And ideally, as a seed saver, of course, I would select the 2 first categories, anything from like 2 meters to, well, even if I had enough of the really big one, that's what I would go for, and then it would improve every year. Now, the reason why some of them are smaller, there's 2 reasons. One, I didn't thin them as much as I probably should have. I mean, look, most people would say this is a success, okay? But I'm not gonna like make stuff up. I want to explain it to you because this is all about learning. So we have, of course, 2 reasons. One is when you have an open pollinated, or a, what do they call it now? It's, we call it this is a land race as well. That's what you have to bear in mind. This one is starting to actually come. You can recognize that with sorghum when it starts getting thick here. So when you've got that, basically you expect a certain because it's to do with genetics. So a certain amount of them will, of course, do not as well as others. And that's actually okay, because you want that diversity in there, because when you're giving those seeds then to somebody else in a different, like up the road maybe, or even like a couple of hundred, kilometers up the road, those seeds will, maybe the smaller ones will do better in that climate or that location than the big ones here. So that's really important. And I forget the term now at the moment, so I don't know why that's going on in my head. Anyway. Now, between the actual adding of this mulch and not adding it, I think that, I'm seeing about maybe, am I really seeing it? Let me just see. Has it created these secondary roots? There they are. We do have some there. Normally they do grow up higher. There you go, there's another one, okay? So, there's another one just starting. And also, of course, some of these are not even ready yet. Yeah. So because we're leaving the farm, I didn't mention this, by the way, we're leaving the farm, and we're going to move to another farm. And I'll fill you in on that a bit more. But some of them are making secondary roots. This is a very bad patch here where I did not weed it because we're leaving. I didn't, I was so busy with other stuff. But there's their secondary roots starting. So I can't see any difference between adding this here and there, but I'm going to make another video. When I make that video on this, I'm going to be creating this whole setup on another farm, and then we're going to basically start from this point. And for now, that's going to happen probably in 6-7 months. For now, this is going to be basically our results. Other than that, I'm really impressed. I'm pretty happy with the outcome. We had to do very little work, and you must remember as well, the next step of this is going to be, we're going to cut everything when we can actually harvest the seeds, cut everything. This is going to become our mulch for the next generation. Now, unfortunately, we're going to move farm. We're moving to another farm. It's going to be actually, I'm trying to restructure the whole seed saving project because it's not working at the moment at this level, and I need to make it bigger, better, and work. And that's what I'm focusing on. And we're going to move farm, and and we have some ideas yet on it, and I'm not sure yet if they're going to work or not, but we're going to give it a shot, because right now I feel like we're not really going for it. We're not really successful. We're trying to do too many things at the same time, and it's not possible. So we're going to try and join forces with some other farmers. I'll fill you in at another stage. Anyway, so where was I? So basically, I'm going to then repeat this experiment. I'm going to bring you to this stage on the other farm without showing you all this, and then we're going to continue at this point. So be sure to watch the future videos on this. I'll make a playlist for this, and then you will be able to see that. But for now, this is the results. This is what we've got. I mean, some of them are like 4 meters tall, I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's like, my expectations are always very high, and most people would be more than happy with this, trust me. And this is basically no dig farming. We haven't hurt the soil. We've actually increased the soil quality, the structure. With this method, we've actually increased the nutrient content. Everything is at a plus. All the life in the soil, there's going to be lots of critters living on top of the soil. This is like biodiversity. Even though this is just one crop, what's going on top of the soil and in the soil is doing really, really well. There's several more things that I need to talk about. First of all, one thing I wanted to mention as well is what actually digs the soil. Like the 5 maybe main diggers of the soil, of nature. The nature's way of digging the soil is, of course, you have worms. None of them are like better or worse than the others. Worms, you have plants, like heavy diggers. Plants, when they dig, they decompose and they leave kind of passages. As I mentioned before, you have fungi, you have moles and mice and things like that. You have even like insects, you have even slugs will dig the soil. And why is nature way better at digging the soil than us humans ever could be? Because even when we go in with a shovel, okay, with a shovel, that's already way too big, way too cumbersome for us not to destroy all the structure, the soil life, the soil structure, all those passageways that nature has created. We can very easily break it all up, crumble it all up, and that's great for the first 2 years, and you can continue doing that, but at some point you're going to do it so much that you have soil erosion, lack of nutrients. I mentioned all this before in the last 2 videos, so check them out as well, by the way, if you're watching. This is the first video you're watching. And nature is way more sensitive. It has much more finesse. It can actually get in there and really dig the soil, and by getting in there, it's not disturbing anything else that's going on. And that's where we as human beings can't do that. So imagine a sponge, and nature's digging it, but it doesn't rip it all apart and crumble it up and break it all into fluffy bits. It leaves the sponge intact, which is really important for air to come in, for water to be absorbed, all this kind of thing. While it keeps on digging it and moving it, but allowing the life to not be destroyed. And the life is, of course, as I mentioned many times, responsible for making nutrients available to higher beings, which are the plants, and then we eat the plants, and the cycle continues like that. That you can't copy. You cannot build a machine that can do that, okay? But what you can do is you can actually copy how nature grows its food and kind of, emulate that. And I can guarantee you that soil in there, every year it's going to get better. It's going to grow in height. It's not going to lose its nutrients and all that kind of stuff. It's just going to increase in fertility. Whereas every other soil in the world is decreasing in fertility, and we gotta stop that, okay? So that's what I'm leaving you with it. It's gonna start raining now, so I better get out of here. We finally got a bit of rain coming after 2 months of no rain. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Do share with your friends if anybody, or share any kind of no-dig gardening methods as well, or anything like this. We need to change the trend of chemical farming, digging the soil, and even those people have to understand what they're doing, and most of them don't want to, you know, it's not in their interest to destroy their own farms. People don't want that. They don't want to destroy their own soil, but they feel like they have no option. This is one option, and we need to understand this better. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one as well.